This is Optimal Work Daily. What is a side hustle? By Nick Loper of SideHustleNation.com. A side hustle is simply a way to earn extra income apart from your day job. There are dozens of examples, which we'll cover in full detail soon. Today, it's all about the common characteristics of a side hustle. Mindset. When you think of the word hustle, what comes to mind? I've found it has two very different connotations. One positive: he's not the biggest guy on the court, but he sure shows a lot of hustle. And one negative: I got hustled by that used car salesman. In the context of a side hustle, it's universally positive. The type of hustle I'm talking about is getting more done with less, a finisher's attitude, for the love of the game. Not ripping people off, easy money, and mind-numbing work. The first step to building a successful side hustle is to get the mindset right. Without the optimistic, can-do, make-something-happen attitude, it's really difficult to find the positive energy required to build the business. If you're the down-on-your-luck, woe-is-me victim of life, I'll be 100% honest. This whole side hustle thing probably isn't going to work out for you. It starts with attitude. The good news is attitude is free, and it's equal opportunity. Everyone has access to the side hustle mindset. As Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Investment. A side hustle should be a low-risk project, meaning it shouldn't take a lot of startup capital. Like Chris Guillebeau discusses in The $100 Startup, there are a ton of rewarding lifestyle businesses that got off the ground without breaking the bank. I started the business that eventually became shoesniper.com with just $5 because that's what it cost to open a Google AdWords account at the time, and I think it's free now. Instead of investing a lot of money, the largest side hustle investment is typically the hustler's time. Time. Side hustles are part-time endeavors people use to build new skill sets, supplement their income, or just to experiment with some new business idea. Initially, a side hustle should take up no more than 20 hours a week of your time. Of course, if the business really takes off, you're welcome to adjust the hours accordingly. But for starters, it's important to keep the time investment to a minimum. The idea is to take some knowledge or skill that you have and leverage it into a small but viable business. If it feels like work, don't do it. Side hustles should be fun. And no matter how busy you are, I'm sure you could scrape up an extra hour or two a day if you really had to. Quote, lack of direction, not lack of time, is the problem. We all have 24-hour days. Zig Ziglar. Of the limitless side hustle opportunities, I want to focus on time-leveraged ventures. In the beginning, it's 100% okay to take on a part-time job, freelancing gig, or other by-the-hour types of work. But in the long run, the goal should be to leverage your time so that 1 hour of work can result in many hours worth of income. That's what I mean by time-leveraged. Trading hours for dollars can be a good way to get started, to learn new skills, or break into a new industry, but it's not a long-term path to financial freedom. After all, you only have so many hours in the day. Income. Side hustles are not get-rich-quick schemes, but can be quite lucrative. Imagine if you could bring in an extra $500 or $1,000 a month in your spare time doing something you love. That would be awesome, right? That's what this site is all about. It won't happen overnight, so align your expectations accordingly. But it is absolutely feasible to be earning a significant side income after a few months or a year. Regular people make it happen all the time, and so can you. Rewards. Besides the extra income potential that gets everyone excited initially, having a side hustle can be rewarding in other ways as well. For instance, it can give you a chance to pursue professional goals outside of work, challenge yourself in a new arena, and flex your entrepreneurial muscles, maybe for the first time. Filling your days with meaningful work is a path to happiness. If your day job doesn't get you excited anymore, or it never did, a side hustle is the perfect outlet to explore and experiment with something that will. The hustle. To make a side hustle work, it takes real work. That's why it's called a hustle, because it's not for lazy people. Although if you set it up right, an initial time investment can pay off for months or years down the road without much ongoing work. But if you're not ready to put in the hours at the beginning, or if you're happy with your job, or if you make enough money already, a side hustle probably isn't for you, and that's totally fine. The best side hustlers have a hunger for something more and use their hustles as a means to get there. Are you ready to hustle? You just listened to the post titled, What is a Side Hustle? By Nick Loper of SideHustleNation.com. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. We all have non-negotiables. Maybe you never skip leg day or have to take your morning walks. But when your schedule is packed with kids' activities, big work projects, and more, it's easy to let your priorities slip. Even when we know what makes us happy, it's hard to make time for it. Therapy can help you reclaim control of your time and values. And make no mistake, therapy is for everyone. Whether or not you've been through significant trauma, therapy can be a great tool for setting boundaries, learning positive coping skills, and ultimately becoming the best version of yourself. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Never skip therapy day with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/workdaily today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/workdaily. We're driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging. 93% of employers agree Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites. One of the things I love about Indeed is that it filters out incompatible applicants. So when you're hiring, the process is much faster, and you only have to consider applicants that are already likely to be a great fit. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/startup. So just go to Indeed.com/startup right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/startup. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. And I want to give a big thank you to Nick, who used to work full-time for a giant corporation, but built his business during nights and weekends. He's also the host of the podcast, The Side Hustle Show. It's for part-time entrepreneurs looking for actionable tips to start or improve their businesses. It's a great podcast, and it's usually in the top charts of business in Apple Podcasts. Definitely worth checking out. And the blog is great too, of course. So swing by sidehustlenation.com for a lot more. But that'll do it for today. Hope you're having a great weekend so far. If you're listening in real time, I of course thank you for being here as always. And I'll see you back here tomorrow for the Sunday show. That's where your optimal life awaits.